Welcome to UO Today. I'm Steve Shankman, Director of the Oregon Humanities Center. Our guest today is Idan Raichel, the musician whose work has electrified fans in Israel and around the world. Idan Raichel and the members of his touring band were brought to the University of Oregon by the EMU Cultural Forum with the co-sponsorship of the Oregon Humanities Center. Idan Raichel is a keyboardist, a producer and composer who wrote the music for a unique recording project. He invited more than 70 musicians from vastly different ethnic backgrounds to collaborate on an album filled with blends of Ethiopian folk music, Arabic poetry, Yeminite chants, biblical psalms, and Caribbean rhythms. The music has achieved huge success in Israel, offering new ideas about how individuals can maintain their traditions, celebrate their differences, and still respect each other. It's just fabulous to have you here.
Thank you.
You've come a long way, and we're very, very grateful. Let's talk about a different kind of journey then to start out with. That is your journey as a musician, as someone who helps build bridges between people of different cultures and ethnicities. How did this happen? Give me some idea of the genesis of the project.
I guess when I first started the project, I've been recording with lots of friends of mine. Which the youngest singer is 16 years old, and the eldest is 84 years old. It's a lot of neighbors and a lot of just people. When you live in Israel, in every neighborhood, you will find immigrators from all over. Since Israel, in every 10 or 15 years, there is a new immigration, which actually changed the face of the society of Israel, from the earliest Eastern European community to the Yemenite immigrators, to the North African, Moroccan immigrators, then some minorities from South America, and the latest immigrators from Ethiopia. So you will find, people from all over. So if you just keep your ears and eyes open, you'll find great vocalists and great musicians from all over. One interesting thing that all these 70 artists will define themselves as Israeli, but they still keep their own roots, their own ceremonies. They have, on Saturdays they go to their own synagogues, and have this. So I think it's beautiful. This is what makes Israel to be one of the most interesting melting pots, cultural melting pots.
So how long is this? Do you think of this as a tradition in Israel, or is this something new? The melting pot idea that you're focusing on.
I think this is the first time in Israel that a project as this project has been done. But I think this melting pot is still being created. Created since. Israel is a very new country. It's about 60 years old, so you can still not define Israeli food or Israeli culture or Israeli, dance or music. It's just being, since again every 10 or 15 years there is a new immigration. So it's just being created.
Well, I want to go back to this question of Israel and the identity of Israel and your music,
Right.
But I want to start just asking you some questions first about your musical background.
When I started, when I was young, I played. I'm a son of an Eastern European family.
From where?
From Russia.
My parents. Which part?
From Russia. From,
I see.
From Moscow.
Moscow.
My parents were born in Israel, but.
But their family.
Yeah. So I played accordion, which is the non-coolest instrument ever. But I grew up, on the Red Army songs and all this stuff. Also, accordion, it's a kind of a world music instrument, since it sounds different from the waltzes of France or the tango of Argentina. So it's all. So I think this is what gave me the ability, or I was interested by world music. Later on, I played keyboard and explored some jazz music, piano jazz music. In Israel, every 18 years old man or woman needs to serve in the army. I served also in the army. I was lucky to serve as a musician, so I just played for soldiers all over. Later on, I got a job. When I finished the army, I got a job as a consultant in a boarding school near Tel Aviv, which I guided their new immigrators, teenagers that came from Russia or from Ethiopia. Very, very different communities, and I had to see how I can work with them, with both of them, to explore the music, to let them feel to become a part of the Israeli society. One interesting thing that I saw that the Russian community, which are coming from a very deep cultural life, I don't know how to explain it in English. They are very they
traditional?
know, yeah, they know what they are, and they very
proud of it?
Yeah. And the Ethiopian community, which are youngsters, which most of them were immigrate from Eastern world, African world, from the villages of Ethiopia, they become lost in the Israeli Western community.
I see.
They have a lot of identity problems. They try to adopt some identity of like Afro-American hip-hop culture or Jamaican culture, although they are, village African, beautiful culture. So this was the first time at the age of 21 that I understood that in Israel there are lots of minorities that needs to have role models, such as, for an example, Zinedine Zidane, the great soccer football player. He's more than a football player. For the Algerian community in France, he's much more than a football player.
Yeah.
He is kind of a leader. So suddenly I realized that you will not hear like Israeli Ethiopian singer in the Israeli mainstream radio. Or you still cannot see great lawyers from the Arabic community, Tel Aviv, I mean, in the Tel Aviv life. So, or even football player from the Bedouin community. So I think this challenge nowadays. I think this is the most important thing, that to open the doors and to support these minorities, to have role models from itself.
So Ethiopian music was not known very well in Israel before you started to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a way of also giving these people who come from that country pride in their own tradition, which they had been sort of repressing before.
Yeah, I think it's very important for them to feel a part. Just imagine a new immigrated 6 years old girl, Ethiopian village girl that come to Tel Aviv, and she is the only black girl in the classroom of Russian. She doesn't know what to do, how to speak, what is the. And if she has even Kabra Kasai, one of our lead singers, which she has like the first hit on the charts. She can be, maybe I have like something that I can do maybe later on.
Well, and tell me about the text and the lyrics of your own music.
Most of the texts are dealing with love, or in lots of I don't know, maybe in some biblical way sometimes. Sometimes it's very ancient Hebrew, or old school Hebrew, or sometimes it's very slang, very strict way. I realized that we cannot deal with politics and stuff, since it's 70 artists mostly who have 71 opinions about politics, so, and especially because it's so many people and the youngest is 16 years old and the eldest is 84 years old. Some of them are new immigrators, some of them from the Arabic community to the Ethiopian community. So we're not dealing with politics, although each one of us has a very strong opinion about the situation. You cannot allow yourself to not have opinion about the Middle Eastern situation.
Right. So tell me then, do people sing together? Do they do solos? How do you say there are 71?
It's about 70 artists. So,
yeah, so how do you do, so, and that's the whole project?
yeah, so basically in every song there are different musicians, different singers. Some of the singers are leaders, some of them are like, even though they are the lead singer in one song, they can be just backing vocal in some of them are not participating in several songs, so it's okay. Even me as the producer, sometimes there are songs that I'm not doing nothing but just writing maybe the lyrics or stuff.
But the idea is, at any rate, is that each one of these songs is, I mean, by and large, a production of many different people.
Yes, yes.
And then that seems pretty unusual to me.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do now is I really like for our audience to hear your music, so we're going to listen to it now.
All right.
Tell us how you managed to recruit so many different musicians to take part in this project.
Basically, the casting work is one of the most interesting work in the stage in this project. I just travel every day in Israel to sometimes to like underground bars, sometimes to synagogues, very traditional synagogues, sometimes to wedding, if I hear that there is a wedding in some Arabic village up north. Every day, something is happening. Just, to explore a lot of stuff, Just rumors, there is this singer here, this old singer here, so lots of them.
So how fluid is the group, though? I mean, you did that to recruit the 71. Are you still recruiting? Are there people dropping out? Are you still finding people? Or?
I'm still finding people, because it's very interesting, to find more and more. And some of them, are not singers or not professional singers or professional musicians. They want to, to sing one part, then back to their own life. And we're traveling all over the world. So sometimes we find, a singer from Colombia or a singer from Senegal or from.
So how do you get them to come? How do you get a singer from Senegal to come? How do you do that? You just need to, I believe that anywhere in the world, if you just keep your ears and eyes open, I think that if you smile to people on the street, you'll find that people want to get. They want to come.
Yeah.
And you've managed to find funds to bring them as part of the project?
Yeah. This project used to be like a very Israeli project, but nowadays we have singers from Colombia, from Senegal, from Rwanda, just from all over, from Harlem. I find it very weird for me that, sometimes I visit New York. It's such a big city for us, and I find it interesting that I cannot guarantee that an Afro-American kid from Harlem knows much about his neighbor, Hasidic Jewish neighbor from Brooklyn, although they are almost neighbors, and I think that all these people, can know much about this, even mostly in New York, this communities from all over. So in Israel, it's very, we are all
mixed together.
Yeah.
Now, your first album came out in 2002. Is that right?
Yeah, early 2003, yeah.
Early 2003.
Yeah.
And apparently you had some difficulty finding a label. Is that true at the beginning?
Yeah, because nobody could. They didn't know how to promote this CD. It's like, imagine that there is a single, a female vocal with
Yes.
only with acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
but who is giving interviews even?
You.
Yeah, so so it was very weird at the beginning, how to define this project, because it's like a producer album, obviously. We couldn't afford ourselves to perform, all over with 70 artists, until we just got this idea that maybe we'll do like a small cast of 8 people on stage. It's one of them we have percussion player from Uruguay, a drummer from the Tel Aviv rock scene, a singer that was born in the camps of Sudan, one singer from Ethiopia, one singer from the Persian community. So, just to make it. So it was hard to promote it, difficult. We find it difficult to promote it, but nowadays we are very happy.
You're hot. Would you call yourself hot? You know that phrase?
Yeah, I cannot say about myself
Not
that
really
I'm
hot.
hot.
Well, so what is your label at the moment?
My label is Kumbancha Records.
Uh-huh.
We distribute by Putumayo World Music.
I see.
But the label is Kumbancha, and back home we're
Kumbancha.
Helicon Records. Yeah,
And back home?
it's Helicon Records.
Helicon Records. So what was the sort of profile of these labels before you joined them? What kind of music were they known for?
Helicon is a very big company in Israel. It's they will distribute release CDs of pop or rock singers. Putumayo are very known for collections, compilations of world music, and Kumbancha is like a sub-label that now bring to the world singers or interesting projects from different parts of the world.
So tell me what your schedule is like, and how many people, for example, did you bring with you to Oregon?
Just to explain the schedule, until you told me that we are in Oregon, I didn't know that we are in Oregon. I thought we are in Denver.
In Denver. Okay.
So, and I thought it, and my clock, my watch was like 3 hours ahead. So,
I see.
So I don't really know. While we are on tour, they just tell me, wake up.
Go here and go there.
Go here.
Right. But I mean, how much do you tour? I mean, just give me an idea of what your life is like
in
any given week or month.
We are on the road for about 3 years.
Just pretty constantly?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And how much time do you get to spend? You say how much you like your neighborhood in Tel Aviv. How much time do you get to just spend and hang out?
At least half of the year.
Uh-huh.
But also when we are in Israel, we travel around Israel and we perform a lot of Israel.
Right.
So, but since this project, we are a band. Some of us have kids, some of them, wives.
Right.
So it's very important that people will not forget where they came from. And this project for me will always be as Israeli music.
Mm-hmm.
For people all over the world, they will define it as a world music. But for us, it's Israeli music. So we have to come back home and to get all our energy from this place.
Yeah. So again, try to explain to me. It seems you got a small group. You can make decisions and you get the stuff done.
Yeah.
How is it when you have so many different creative people from so many different backgrounds? How can you get something done? How can you get songs written and produced under those circumstances? Are you at the heart of it, kind of? Facilitating, helping to facilitate the process?
It's very important to keep balance. Sometimes to let people just to flow and just to jam in the room. And sometimes there is in this kind of a huge project. It's very important that it will be one person that will decide. Okay, this is it. Down, record, stop, edit. Okay. So sometimes it's important that there will be one, but it's very important to have a lot of people that you believe that they are talented and they have something to bring to the tape.
So how many albums have you?
We released 2 albums.
Two.
It's about
And the
20
first one, tell me what the name of the first one was.
The first one was the Idan Raichel project, and the
Okay.
second one was Mima Amakim. It's Out of the Depth
Out of the Depths.
from Psalms.
Mm-hmm. And tell us again, Mi Mama Kim, where's that from? The lyric.
Mima Amakim is Out of the Depth is one of the
Psalms.
most Psalms is one of the most beautiful songs, I will say.
Psalms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Out of the Depth, I call to you, O Lord.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a new one in the works now?
At
At the moment?
Yeah.
And do you have an inspiration for what sort of where it's going?
I never record album. I always record a lot of tracks, a lot of pieces. And if I see that I can combine them all, I will release it. Because sometimes we release 2 tracks and we don't see any connection to our work, so we'll just give it to a movie, to a score, to a dance group. So we're recording all the time.
Now I don't want to ask you to gossip here, but you got a lot of people involved. So do you have conflicts that you have to manage and everybody get?
Of course.
Yeah. And who does this? Who does this managing of the conflicts?
It's
you? Are you? Do you have a special gift? You seem like a very gentle person and able to maybe soothe big egos.
I have to admit it. I'm the one that gives interviews, right?
I see.
But there are so many people
who are involved in it.
So I'm.
But it's your name.
Yeah. But it's a lot of people that working really around the clock.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, I know you say you're not political and nobody's political and there are 71 different...
I am political, but you are not.
Sorry. But the music, but you won't tell me, which is right, which is, I understand. But the music obviously has some effect on the society.
I think, politics is not only about borders. Politics is also about the society. So we are dealing with politics about the society in Israel.
Right.
And the society in Israel, we are working, with all the groups that we have in Israel, from the Ethiopian community to the Arabic community to the Yemenite community to the Moroccan community. So we are all together living this. And talk one thing about politics, I don't think that, signing peace contract is not about signing, peace contract between Israel and Lebanon. It's more important to have like a big factory on the border that people from both sides can work in, It's, at the end of the day, it's all about people. And I think that 90% of the population here or on the other side doesn't know about all these contracts much. They want to wake up in the morning, live a peaceful life, to be able to visit in Jerusalem, that will be able to visit in Damascus, very simple.
Yeah. So again, you're not a politician, but one hears that Israeli society today is. I mean, people are more and more discouraged about the peace process, at least at the political level. Some people even in despair about the possibility of a peaceful solution to the crisis. So one hears of a certain hardening, of Israeli society.
I think that,
and then you're speaking about a totally different view of the society, a softening, a blending, not one based on fear.
I can guarantee you that
I
can guarantee that not only in the Israeli side, also in the Palestinian side, and also in Lebanon, and also in Syria.
Yes.
90% of the population wants to live in peace.
Yeah.
10% are the fanatic religious people, which are not the majority, but they are the loudest. I'm sure there is our nature is to get in balance.
Right.
So this is it.
So you're not as much in despair as one hears about the future. I mean, you're a young man. The future of Israel.
Yeah, we have to, this. You cannot call conflict is a nice word to war. It is a war situation that's been taking a long time. People get sick and tired of this war situation, and I'm sure that people. It's a lot of ignorance sometimes, to you know, to live in peace is, you know, you make peace with enemies. You're not making peace with your friend. You know, you're making peace with enemies. So if you want to get closer to your enemy or to your neighbor, you got to just respect who he is. You don't have to become a Lebanonian. They don't have to become a Jewish people. They just, or Israeli, just to respect their own territory, their own. And as soon as there will be a peace contract, there will no meaning for territory. You know, to just welcome anywhere.
Yeah. So let me just ask you, and again, you're not a politician because you're doing this very multicultural thing, and you're absolutely right. The Jews come from all over the place. Israel is a Jewish state, a multicultural state. Does it make a difference to you how it conceives of itself, a Jewish state, a multicultural state, in terms of your music?
This is, in terms of my music,
yes,
it's a multicultural nation.
And so do you see that? Do you see that as you see that as definitely a possible future for Israel?
Yeah.
So
you have a nice ways to get to ask you know, about politics, but not directly.
Sorry, yes, not
it's nice way. But I respect
not directly,
it.
not
I
directly.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So tell me, so what's next for you?
What next?
Where are you going to be next? So you're going to be here in Oregon. Just give us an idea of what's coming up for you.
We in this upcoming 2 weeks we're going to be in about 10 different states. So
do you remember the names of them?
No, I remember New York and
or
LA.
even the time.
Yeah,
okay. New York, LA.
I keep saying that, you know, my friends back home being jealous, they say, yeah, you're touring, or I'm touring airports.
Airports.
Yeah, I see a lot of checking spot.
Yeah.
This is what I'm touring, I promise you.
Well, I'll tell you, in the 20 seconds you've got here, give us your impressions about America. Now you've been to all these cities. Give us a very little, I know you're not going to be able to say much.
I think that American people we are feeling very warm and welcome. We feeling very welcome here. And we are very happy to perform. You know, we perform Central Park, New York, and then, you know, the Kodak Theater in LA.
Yeah.
Sometimes to students all over. So we feel that the audience is very open-minded. We got a very warm and welcome feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's really great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And we've been speaking with Idan Raichel of the Idan Raichel Project. It's been great having him with us. Thank you for watching.